Whenever building an application, one of the first things you want to think about is how to manage the user authentication state, because usually that's a global concern that really dictates the entire design and architecture of the application. Firebase exposes the user's authentication state, like whether they're logged in or logged out, as a stream. And that makes it pretty easy on us because we can use a widget like a stream builder near the top of the widget tree to provide a different UI for the logged in user versus the logged out user. To keep things organized, we'll create a services directory and create a file called auth.dart. Inside of it, we'll define a custom class called auth service. And then from there, we'll go to the pubspec YAML file and make sure that we have the proper dependencies for the authentication methods we want to use. In this course, we'll be using Google Sign-In and Apple Sign-In, so I'm going to go ahead and install those now. Back in the auth service, the only actual dependency we need right now is Firebase Auth. There are two different ways we can access the user in Firebase, and I'm going to create instance variables on this class for both of those methods. The first way is with a stream, which we can do by calling Firebase Auth instance.auth state changes. You'd want to use a stream when you want the UI to react to an auth state change, but you're not sure when that change is going to happen. I go over streams in detail in the Dart course, but a quick refresher here is that a stream is basically a way to listen to asynchronous events. In this case, we're listening to changes to the Firebase user and reacting accordingly. The other way to access the user is synchronously by simply calling Firebase Auth instance current user. This approach is useful when you have an event, like when a user clicks on a button and you need to check their authentication state in that moment. We'll put that one to use when we give the user a way to create records in the database. Now let's go ahead and put the stream to use in our home screen. The purpose of the home screen is to check the user's authentication state, and if they're logged in, show the topic screen, otherwise show the login screen. To handle that, I'm going to import those screens into this file, as well as the auth service that we just created. Now to make the magic happen, we'll add a stream builder to the root of the widget tree. It requires a stream to listen to, which will be the user stream on the auth service, then takes a builder function that will build out a different UI based on the current state of the stream. There are 4 different possibilities that we want to handle here. The first thing we'll check is the connection state. If the connection state is waiting, it means we're still loading some data, in which case we will show a loading widget. Another possibility is that there's an error, in which case we show an error screen. Otherwise, if the snapshot has data, it means that the user is currently logged in, because the snapshot will be null if the user is not logged in. When they are logged in, we'll go ahead and show the topic screen. Otherwise, if they're logged out, we'll show the login screen. The cool thing about this setup is that all we have to do is now log the user into Firebase, and the entire Flutter UI will react accordingly based on the stream builder. Before we wrap this video up, let's go into the login screen and make sure that we have a scaffold in there with an app bar that will have a title of login. Now, if you go ahead and restart your app, you should be taken to the login screen, because currently there shouldn't be a Firebase user logged into the app, but we'll provide a login method in the next video.